Welcome to Film and Page. I'm Dominic, and we got some big Dune news today. Really big news. And it was news I fear we would never get, or we would get the opposite of this news that we got today. But apparently it is official. Dune Part 2 is coming. So this article is from Variety. Dune Part 2 officially greenlit. Release date set for 2023. Dune is officially getting a sequel. Legendary Entertainment announced the news in a tweet on Tuesday, ensuring that the spice will continue to flow on screen. Warner Brothers will distribute the film and help finance it, though Legendary is the primary money behind the movie and owns the film rights to the book series. The film is expected to have an exclusive theatrical run, and Legendary will likely make that point ironclad after Dune debuted simultaneously in theaters and on HBO Max last week. The unorthodox distribution pattern was a pandemic-era concession by Warner Brothers, but one that caused an uproar when it was unveiled in 2020. Dune Part 2 will hit theaters on October 20th, 2023. The first part of the sci-fi epic, which opened October 22nd in the US, earned $41 million in ticket sales in its first weekend. That result was the best film opening of the year for Warner Brothers, and a sign of fans' desire not only to stream Dune, but see it on the big screen. The film has also performed well overseas, earning nearly $225 million globally. Its domestic opening results were roughly in line with what Warner Brothers expected the film to generate when it was greenlit, which is notable because that's long before the current situation upended the media landscape. A return to Arrakis was always part of the plan. Director Denis Villeneuve was adamant in interviews that his adaptation of Frank Herbert's novel would have two parts. In fact, the film's opening title sequence rather boldly reads Dune Part 1. When interviewed by Variety at the Toronto Film Festival, Villeneuve said, "I wanted at the beginning to do two parts simultaneously. For several reasons it didn't happen, and I agreed to the challenge of making Part 1 and then wait to see if the movie rings enough enthusiasm. As I was doing the first part, I really put all my passion into it, in case it would be the only one, but I'm optimistic." There's still a lot of story left to unfold. Dune Part 1 ends with Timothée Chalamet's Paul Atreides, a messianic figure at the heart of the series, seeking shelter from enemies in the desert. Dune Part 2 will follow his efforts to exact revenge against the noble families who murdered his father, Duke Leto Atreides, and restore himself to power. Warner Media leadership also hinted at a Part 2 in an interview with Variety on Thursday, with executive Ann Snarnoff saying that the green light would be based on the entirety of what Dune can do for the company, including HBO Max. The story in itself sets up for a sequel. The production is so amazing, and the storytelling is so compelling that it's not going to be judged on box office alone, Snarnoff said. Last winter, Dune's release threatened to be overshadowed by Warner Brothers' decision to release its entire 2021 slate on HBO Max, at the same time the movie debuted in cinemas. Legendary threatened legal action and Villeneuve blasted the move, but tensions have since eased, not just with the Dune team, but with other artists put off by the Warner Brothers decision. Several of the filmmakers behind movies that failed to connect at the box office, such as In the Heights and Cry Macho, still came out on top after the studio opted to pay out back-end deals as a way to smooth over ruffled feathers. Warner Brothers has committed to releasing its films exclusively in theaters for 45-day runs beginning in 2022. In Dune's case, the two companies and Villeneuve had nothing but nice things to say when they officially announced another installment. Legendary offered that we would not have gotten to this point without the extraordinary vision of Denis and the amazing work of his talented crew, the writers, our stellar cast, our partners at Warner Brothers, and of course, the fans. Here's to more Dune. Warner Brothers Pictures Group Chairman Toby Emmerich was also effusive, saying, "We are thrilled to continue on this journey with Denis and his cast and crew, and our partners at Legendary, and can't wait to bring the next chapter of this epic tale to theaters in October 2023. The first Dune film stars Chalamet, Zendaya, Rebecca Ferguson, Oscar Isaac, Josh Brolin, Stellan Skarsgård, Dave Bautista, Stephen McKinley Henderson, Jason Momoa, and Javier Bardem. Casting for the film's second part has not yet been announced, but many members of the ensemble, such as Chalamet, have said they're game to come back for more. As for Villeneuve, not only has he directed his biggest box office hit, but he's also getting to adapt the novel his way. It was a dream of mine to adapt Frank Herbert's Dune, and I have the fans, the cast and crew, Legendary and Warner Brothers to thank for supporting this dream, he said. This is only the beginning. That is amazing news. I'm so glad that we got this announcement. And I didn't think the announcement would come so soon. I thought it might be some time. Maybe they'd gather in more numbers from when it was streaming. And I mean, the movie never made huge money, but maybe that combined with all the streaming numbers was enough to greenlight a sequel. But I am really glad we were getting one. After seeing the movie, I saw it twice on the weekend, and I'm going to go see it a third time, and I was just mesmerized by it. I just loved the film. And it was even better the second time I watched it. But that was always in the back of my mind, like, this is so great, but it's only half of what it could be if we don't get part 2. But thank God we're getting part 2, so glad we're getting part 2. So there will be lots more videos like this in the future. My Road to Dune series is going to be continuing onward as I continue to cover news about this movie, and now we can speculate about who they're going to cast as the Emperor and Princess Irulan and Fade Rautha, all that stuff, how that's going to play out. But the thing about this is I was thinking about this today, after I seen Dune on the weekend, is it made me think of when Lord of the Rings came out in the theaters. Remember when the Lord of the Rings came out, I was not really a Lord of the Rings fan. The only thing that I had any exposure to when it came to Lord of the Rings was the old, I think it was Ralph Bakshi made a cartoon, an animated Lord of the Rings that came out in the 80s. I had seen that once, and I had some vague memories of that. And that's really all I had as far as Lord of the Rings go, and I knew it was a book. So when that movie came out, I went and seen it, and, I thought it was a pretty good movie and stuff like that. But, if I had seen the first one and something happened and they didn't get the other 2 installments, I don't think it would have really affected me too much because I wasn't a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I was thinking about this today. This movie is my Lord of the Rings. Having Dune, my favorite book, made into a movie like this. And I can only imagine this is what Lord of the Rings fans must have felt in, the early 2000s when that first Lord of the Rings movie came out, and then you got the second installment and the third installment. But I think when that first one came out, it was such a huge hit and was like a foregone conclusion that you were getting the other 2 parts. Not only that, they filmed those things back to back. So this was always a worry of mine that we would not get it. We would have a really awesome Dune movie, but would only be half of one. But now we're getting the full thing, and it's just fantastic. And looking forward to seeing what kind of more merchandise comes out as far as Dune is concerned. One thing I would like to see after seeing the movie is those ornithopters look really cool, and I'd like to see Eagle Moss do some of those. Those would be cool to see those done in that scale, like they do with the Star Trek and Star Wars ships and stuff like that. So yeah, this is great news, and this is a part 2. I'm looking so forward to it, and it's going to be the build up. The next 3 years building up to part 2 and talking about it and doing these videos is going to be really fun. So that's everything I got to say in this video. Let me know what you think in the comments section, and I will see you at the next one. I'd like to say thank you to all of my subscribers. I appreciate you all in helping this channel grow. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to hit the bell icon so you'll be notified when new videos are uploaded.